What's good, everybody? Welcome to Milwaukee Entertainment News. I am your host, DJ Bro. Coming at you for another episode. Now, today we have Josh Becker as our interview. I am stoked as hell. We have Milwaukee's Addiction happening this weekend at the Palace Theater in Wisconsin Dells. That is September 22nd. So go check that shit. Also have Saturday, September 17th at 6 p.m. over at the X-Ray Arcade. We got Angel Dust, One Step Closer, Payasa, and then Still. That's over at 5036 South Packard Ave. Go see it. Mad Planet over at 533 East Center Street. We got Teen Night Reunion, okay? This is with Goth Barge DJs, Jeffrey Allen Joseph going nuts over there, so definitely go see what's going on. We have 33 RPM coming around Friday, September 23rd for the Harvest Fair at Saz's High Life Stage at 6:30, and then Saturday, September 24th, they're going to be at the Cudahy Lions Club Oktoberfest at 6 p.m. Saturday, September 24th, we got Rockin' Dockin' and Stylus in Chains over at Polly's Pub and Eatery. So definitely get over that. That's 8031 West Greenfield Ave in Stylus. Saturday, September 23rd, again over at the X-Ray Arcade. We got starting at 5:30 Wits End. Their last show is happening over there. Again, 5036 South Packard Ave over in Cudahy. Friday, September 30th, over at 8 p.m. to 11, we got Quentin Kufal doing a solo drum set again. So definitely go out there. This is at Rookie Sports Pub over in Stevens Point. That is Rookies at 3425 Church Street in Stevens Point. So go see that shit. Hey. Also over at Polly's Pub and Eatery. We got Friday 9/16. They got Shut the Front Door inside at 9:30. Saturday 9/17. They have Sensations outside at 4 p.m. They have Logan's Run inside at 9 p.m. Sunday, they have End of Summer Party with King Kong and a cast of Minions, time at noon, from noon to 7. So definitely go see that out. Okay, Schmitty and the Troubadours live at Builders Freeze Lake Pub over in Hubertus. This is right off of Highway 167, right there on the Roundabout. Okay. Friday, September 3rd, over there at 5 to 9 p.m. Definitely go see that. That is at 4493 Highway 167 in Hubertus. Okay, Bella Kane. If you like country music, Bella Kane is the ones to hear. They got Friday, 9/16 at BCU at Pub 72 in Gilbert, Illinois. And then Fridays, 9/23. Oh, yeah. At 7 p.m., they're going to be at the Harvest Fair, Bud Pavilion in Stylus. So go see them. The Cheap Shots over at the Bridge in Grafton. This is Saturday, September 17th from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. There's a nice little day show. That's at 1216 Bridge Street in Grafton. Okay, all you guys who know the Jazz Men, they were over at Casablanca just about every weekend over last winter. Nathan Mayfield, the front man from there, says he is promised he's cooking up an album he's going to drop on his birthday on October 24th, so be ready for that. Saturday, September 17th, Baby J Trappin' Ass is going to be at the Epic Event Center. That's at 2351 Holmgren Suite 101 in Green Bay. Also, Babyface Ray will be there. We got the music of Led Zeppelin happening from the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra. Conductor Brent Havens and vocalist Randy Jackson. Go see that shit. I wonder if that's like Randy Jackson, like Fat Randy Jackson, like former Journey, former judge of American Idol. I wonder if it's that Randy Jackson. Anyway, September 23rd over at the Riverside. Go see that shit. Hey, September 23rd, we have an Invitational All-Star Jam. The Healing Power in the Hands of Heroes, okay? Benefiting Guitars for Vets. Okay, Talon is putting on this event with donations accepted at the door at Route 20, 14001 Washington Avenue, Sturtevant. So if you're around that area, get on to Talon's 23rd birthday while they go ahead and do something good for people. Once again, over at the Epic Event Center, 919, we got Highly Suspect. For 920, we got In Flames, okay? In Flames is actually going to be over at the Rave this weekend. For those of you guys in Milwaukee area, In Flames will be there over at the Rave on Friday. And then they'll be at Epic Event Center on the 20th. And the 24th is Nothing More. Saturday, September 17th, Hair Nation rocks a 2022 Tomahawk Fall Ride. This is at 10223 Prairie Rapids Road in Tomahawk, Wisconsin. Show starts at 8, so get your ass over there. We got DJ Elizar over in our news today because we got Plant and Sip Day Party over at the Backyard in Bayview. Go see that shit. This is happening 9/18 from 2 to 6 p.m. Be there. Okay, we got the Best Damn Blues Fest happening over in Beaver Dam. This is going to be a headlining Ivy Ford and Stephen Hull experience over at the Village Park in Thiensville. Free admission. So go see what's going on. That is Friday 9/16 and Saturday 9/17. We also have the Bayview Bash happening September 17th, Saturday, from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. The Bayview Bash takes place on the third Saturday each September between Potter and Clement on Kinnickinnick Avenue in Bayview. So go see what's going on over there. Okay, also 9/17. Man, you know, you got some people that just can't stay out of the news. Over at Club Timbuktu, we have January Gem Showcase happening. This reloaded. Ooh. This has a $20 cover with food included. Ooh. We got Mac, comedian Jack Butts, comedian Christina Rosado, Karma Rich, poet Love Unity, comedian Tez, hostess New Me, poet NRJ, Red Rums, Kush, TP, Ms. Quetta, Case Loads. We got Case Load Drell G, Case Load Lil Dave, and Case Load King Tay. And then we got Happy Birthday to Jalen Rose. We got Sovereignty Collections, AD Moolah, Dopenstein. Of course, Checkmate Gorge is going to be over there. Guest DJ A Smiley. And then this is going on from DJ Full Spin. Definitely get this in. This is going to be a big event. Always is. So get down there. This is once again 9/17 over at Club Timbuktu, 530 East Center Street. Bibbs Comedy Hall, Bibbinger's Comedy Show in Slingers. Saturday, September 24th from 8 p.m. over at Bibbinger's Bar and Restaurant, 3747 Cedar Creek Road in Slinger. We got Wendigo Fest because we're starting to get up into the Halloween stuff. So we got celebrating all things Halloween at Wisconsin's largest Halloween festival. Live music, Halloween parade and costume contest, live performances, shopping, food, and more. Don't get caught dead without checking it out. Just $25 in advance for the whole weekend or $30 at the door. It is at the Manitowoc Expo Grounds, 9:30, 10-1, and 10-2. Black Aladdin's coming back. He has Overlooked, the mixtape happening. Tap in for that, and that is available on every platform as we speak. We got Trap and R&B Tuesdays with DJ Young Tat. 21 and older, ladies and slushies free before 11. Ooh, women and slushies. Doors open at 9. Food, drinks, and hookah. This is Something Good Juice Lounge at 4736 West Fond du Lac Ave. They will really name a bar anything in Milwaukee, wouldn't they? Shit. All right, we got the 95 Will Rock Fest happening with Shinedown, Falling in Reverse, Jelly Roll, Jackal, a few others, but mainly for the local scene, we got Lines of Loyalty opening it up for it all, baby, over at the Lake County Fairgrounds, September 24th. Well, that actually about wraps it up for everything that we have for the news section. You guys ready for the interview over there? You guys ready for us to get to you? Well, damn, look at they already started over there. Go ahead, run it. Just run it. This is King Monte, CARLO, Josh Becker, and myself. Let's go ahead, get it.
Oh, yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. I might have to slide you a 20 if it's, I'm always at work. I might have to slide you a 20 to grab me a shirt. I want to look cool in the interview, too.
We'll get straight into this. You already know who's here. We'll get straight into this one. What made Josh Becker get into music in the first place?
I was very much born into it. Very musical family. Both of my parents played in symphony orchestras. My dad's actually conductor. They both play viola. My dad is a music professor. He taught at different universities over the years. Our mother taught us violin, Suzuki method, starting at like 3 years old. And everything just kind of grew from there. We followed different interests, but just a very musical household where it was just a given that everybody played music.
Why did you choose guitar? Did you choose guitar first or keys first?
Well, like I said, we started on violin as kids, but didn't really like it, but we learned a lot because my mom was very headstrong about it, and she made sure that we got our training. She also later then gave similar lessons to my own kids when I had kids, and they were very good musicians as a result also. But then, guitar was kind of the easiest access to pick up on my own and to learn from others. But I was always doing guitar and bass and some keyboard and drums all at the same time. But guitar kind of emerged as, most people actually like guitar. Keyboards actually intimidated me for a long time. I never thought I would be a keyboard player, but then I became one eventually because that's where the jobs were. And I just kept learning about it. Before you knew, I was better at keyboards than I ever thought I would be. So I started to run with that at some point. But guitar was, like everybody played guitar. So I was just one of those everybody,
What's your favorite brand guitar?
I really like Paul Reed Smith. I recently got more into Gibson. I always appreciated Gibson and Fender, the usual stuff. I'm not a particularly big into like brand loyalty. I'm not a Chevy versus Ford or,
Oh, I am. Fuck a Ford.
So, I appreciate the good instruments I have, and all these companies make great instruments, and but that's what I happen to be playing right now. Is I got a really nice Paul Reed Smith, a nice Gibson, a nice Epiphone, which is of course related to Gibson.
Yeah, those Les Pauls, like, first time was in awe of it was actually the guy from Boston had it, and the brightness of it, yet distorted, was like. Then I started really looking into them, and like I saw that anyone from Randy Rhoads and everybody was using those Les Pauls, and it was like you really did get a lot of different sounds out of there. So that would, I guess, be one of the best instruments, especially for cover bands, because you're mainly doing the covers, right? Do you have a project with originals in it?
Well, I've recorded a handful of originals over the years. My main side project, which is Sons of Merlin, that's the band where I get to play with my brother and one of my sons, and also Michelle from The Decade. It's a band where we do mostly covers that we don't get to do with our other bands. That's the fun part of it. But we have done some originals in that band. And really lately, I thought, well, we should get back more into the originals because those were pretty cool. But, just like with Cherry Pie, covers is what people respond to immediately. You get that immediate gratification. So I've made a career out of playing covers, so it's kind of the easiest path for me. But I have some original songs. Some were recorded 25 years ago. Some of them more recently on my website. Very few of them ever get played live, but it's there.
You guys should play those live. Well, a lot of bands do when they start out is they do start out with mainly just being a cover band, and then they start sneaking in originals over time. And until people start knowing the words to their songs, and then they just start playing all their songs, and then they go up from there. I wonder how the crowd will respond to your originals. Are your originals along the lines of Cherry Pie, like that hair band kind of thing?
Some of them are. I have a few songs that I wrote and recorded back in the 90s, and the singer I used was Ronnie Platt, who's now with Kansas. He's the singer for Kansas now. He wasn't back then, but he's a phenomenal singer, and it was a cross between Journey and Queensryche and Rush and Poison. Yeah, it was phases. I've written other songs that were much more in the style, like a James Taylor or the Beatles kind of thing. But, professionally, I'm very lucky to be living the dream of making a living playing music. And that means playing covers and doing that well and doing that consistently. And that's kind of my paradigm.
Yeah, so you live off of basically Cherry Pie and the two other projects.
Yeah, and I teach and open jams that I host. Yeah, I haven't had a full-time day job in over 20 years, and now I haven't had a part-time day job in about a year. And I've gotten to really appreciate. It's a dream come true to be able to make a living doing what you love. I married a woman who makes even more money than I do, and together we have a really nice home together, and it's I'm very fortunate.
All right, King Monte Carlo, how many rappers in the city are literally living off of their music?
Shit, Guapo Chapo, that's about it. Baby J Trapping, it's about 2 or 3 of them. You know what I noticed, like with the difference in the genres, bro? That you can't be in hip hop or a rapper and do covers. If you come out singing Bust a Move or Funky Cold Medina, or so, it's over. I'm talking, you're laughed off the stage. Your career is over, and then you go to a whole different genre of music, and you got somebody that hasn't worked a full-time job in 20 years because he's been able to financially live off of covers. That is just fucking amazing to me, because you can't do any of that shit in rap. It's like, what? Oh, he's singing Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. Boo!
Right.
Get the hell off the stage. But with country, with rock, even with some R&B, you can do covers and be successful. There's a band that I've been hearing about since I was a kid called the Eddie Butts Band. And all they do is damn covers of like old Frankie Beverly and Mays and old funk shit and, feel good music. Play that funky music. They do all that shit and be jamming, and people flock to see them. So it's like,
I saw them last week.
Really?
Yeah, they were at St. Matthias. I've seen them over the years. They're really good. I thought about over the years how playing in cover band is very different than, like, say, stand-up comedy. And maybe rap is more like that, where it's more about the ideas and the words and the concepts, where when you're cover band, everybody wants to hear something that's familiar, for better or worse. They don't want to hear something they don't know. But when they go to see a comedy show or they want to go see a rap show, they want something that is completely new. Otherwise, it doesn't work, especially comedy. I mean, you're not going to laugh at the same joke more than once or twice, right? So you
Right.
have to have something new every time. It's
Cat Williams.
the complete opposite of being in a cover band, where you have to play what they know, otherwise they leave.
Exactly. It
Well,
just doesn't work like that on my side of the track, and that's amazing that it works like that on your side of the track. It's like I said, it's great. I wish we could do stuff like that.
Well, and to take it even further, I mentioned my parents, their careers were in classical music. And classical music, they're basically cover musicians. They don't play their own stuff. They're playing Mozart,
Yeah, they're
Beethoven.
playing Beethoven. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Symphony orchestra is a giant cover band, right? So the paradigm is kind of set there too, you know.
rock can do the can cover hip hop though and get away with it too.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so if he were to
What's the
take one of his
what's the
projects
boy's
and he wants to
called?
take a hip hop song and make it rock real quick, you know, the younger crowd will know the song and go, "Hey, that's cool, they
What
did
was the
that."
name of that band that did the Jay-Z?
Oh, that was Linkin Park with the
That
encore.
was in Linkin Park. Encore. Yep, yep, yep.
But no, I'm talking about like actual straight remakes, like Devil Wears Prada redid "Still Fly." They turned that really heavy. Flame on Fire redid Gucci Gang.
It's a lot of bands that then redid shit. Country's been doing that shit for years. Like it's a lot of country people that then what did I heard a country song last week. I was trying to think of what it is, and it fucked me all the way up because I'm like, is he singing what I think he's singing? What's that big song by Mario, bro? Let Me Love You.
There you go.
Baby, you should let me love you.
Yeah.
That song.
Yeah.
I heard somebody's a country version of that shit last week, and it was slamming. That shit was slamming. I was like, hell. So I mean, I've seen like country people cover Nelly. I've seen there's a new country song out right now with Little Dirk on it, and the shit is fucking slamming. You know, so I mean, I've seen that, but like I said, it don't work like that with hip hop.
I have met a lot of local rock artists that are down for
I know the rock artists be down because they'll take a song and flip it quick. But I'm talking
they're
about
they're completely
Lot of
down to
rappers
do a
aren't
show with a
interested
rap
or
artist.
whatever.
Josh, would you do that?
Yeah. Like I mentioned, I host open jams, and we have rap people come into those, and we'll put down. Sometimes we'll just make up a little groove and they'll rap over it. But sometimes we'll actually play the rhythm part of a known song, and we just loop it. And we've got this guy Trip, we've got this guy Dino, who comes out to the jams, and it always goes over really well. They're really tight with their rap, and it's a nice, you know, part of the variety of doing an open jam.
And when and where are those open jams at?
Yeah, I might need to pull up. Yeah, where are these at?
Well, every Tuesday night I do an open jam in Cottage Grove over by Madison. I've been doing that one for years. That goes from 8 to 11. Sunday nights has been the open jam at Paulie's in West Allis, although recently we've kind of modified it. It's not so much an open jam anymore, but it's Gabriel Sanchez and I kind of co-host this showcase. We feature different people, we say it's Josh and Gabe and their talented friends, but that has been an open jam. Now it's more of a general, like a more vetted showcase. It's at Paulie's at 7, except for when the Packers are playing on Sunday night, like they are this coming Sunday. Then they don't do it. But most Sunday nights is at Paulie's from 7 to 10.
Out of all of the bands that you guys cover, who was your biggest influences for your main instrument?
Let's see. Well, what is my main instrument? I between guitar and keyboards, I'm one of those music nerds where my favorite band going back from when I was 14 has always been Rush. And everything else kind of goes out from that. And I have a lot of history with Rush in a lot of ways, and so I always have a place in my heart for Rush, you know. So they definitely influenced me on guitar and on songwriting, and you know, when I play drums and stuff, I like to try to do that. More recently, I've really gotten into Toto. I've gotten into Queen quite a bit. In the early days, the Beatles, Van Halen. Back when I was in high school, I was into both of those a lot. And then later, you know, played a lot of Journey. I like Journey. So you know, guitar and keyboards. Boston, you mentioned, another good one that's influenced me on both instruments. And Kansas is a huge one.
Yeah, because you were looking at getting into Kansas a while back, weren't you?
Yeah, like I said, my buddy Ronnie, who I recorded with in the '90s, and later he was the best man at my second wedding, and then later he joined Kansas. He's their lead singer, and they replaced their keyboard player, and he kind of, you know, told me about it and about the opportunity, and I made a bunch of videos as an audition, and I got a nice phone call from their management, but they went with Tom Breslin, who's this brilliant player who used to play with Yes, so I really can't complain. But
That's a band I haven't heard for in a long
he might,
time. Yes.
I might get a chance yet, but yeah.
I know there's for the original members, there's you and the drummer, right?
No, the drummer, he joined Cherry Pie back in 2007, so he's been with us a while, and he's actually our manager now. But he's not an original because we started in 1999, and it was started by Dave Zettel, who is still our lead guitar player, and he and I are the only two original members that go all the way back to the beginning.
Wow.
But then, for a 23-year career, we've had less changeover than most other bands that have been around that long.
Yeah, a lot of bands when they first come out and they come out with their friends, and then before they realize that they're not really all that good, they'll come out and then they'll be like, okay, well now I want to actually redo this and get some better musicians, but we have a reputation now, so we got to completely change the name and everything. You guys never had to do that. You guys came out the gate and were good.
Yeah, that's pretty much true. We are actually called ourselves Hit Squad, was our original name in '99. And then when TEC started booking us, and they really believed in us, and they really helped us go from 0 to 60 pretty fast, they were the ones who suggested the name Cherry Pie. That was the end of 1999. Then when we did have personnel changes, when you have a reputation and you're actually a gigging band and you're making money, if you have a vacancy, it makes all the difference in the world. So many talented people want that job compared to when you're just starting out. And we've always been able to pick some very talented people every time we've had a change. And we started out with talented people. That's how we got off to a good start. But you look at national acts that, become famous with a bunch of guys from the block or whatever. And then when they have personnel changes and they're rich and famous, they can get the absolute best players to replace people. So that's definitely a very real phenomenon.
Thinking of that, I'm sure you know who Nita Strauss is.
I've heard the name, but I don't know much.
She was a nobody guitar player that everybody was talking shit about, and then she got really fucking good. Now she is the best female guitar player in modern day rock, and she was with Alice Cooper for a while.
Yeah, I'm sure I've seen her. I didn't realize the name there.
She randomly dropped out of Alice Cooper and went to go tour with Demi Lovato.
Okay.
That is a complete different changeover to go from.
It's like watching an actor play an evil villain in one movie and a real sweetheart in another. I love seeing that kind of diversity, and I like diverse music. I mean, I'm into metal. Rush is my favorite band. I'm also into the Carpenters and James Taylor and all this stuff. And if I remember correctly, I believe, at least according to Wikipedia, Danny Carey of Tool got his big break by playing for Carole King. How's that for a switch? I love it. That's awesome. The guy plays for Carole King, and then he plays with Tool.
Right. Oh man, I just had a question, but then I forgot about it right away.
Have you or any of your friends taken Alzheimer's medicine? You may be entitled for compensation.
Right. I used to eat paint chips as a kid. To live under power lines and shit.
Put some ketchup on the paint chips. Yeah, it was yum.
Well, I was trying to copy Metallica with the bologna on hand. Only it was paint chips on hand. So the influences that you're talking about and your favorite bands and everything that you're talking about, those are like Toto and the Carpenters and everything. Those are way more mellow bands than what you play in Cherry Pie. And those are the kind of stuff that you play in your other project with your son. And you have a couple sons. You also have, is it the same one that's in Yotuma?
Yes, the one that's in Yotuma also plays with me in Sons of Merlin. I have another son who's a brilliant musician. He does jazz and he's into classical music. He plays several different instruments very well, but he's shy, first of all, and he's a successful computer programmer. So he does not aspire to a career in music the way the rest of us do. But he's like I said, we do songs that we don't get to play with our other bands, which includes the James Taylor, includes the Beatles, includes some Toto. Cherry Pie does do some Toto, has done some Toto, but Toto does rock sometimes. But then in Sons of Merlin we also do a bunch of Rush. We do Rage Against the Machine, and we do Peter Gabriel, and with a female singer on some of the songs we do the Pat Benatar and Sheryl Crow, and it's a hodgepodge of stuff, and we got really good response from it. I mean, on paper it looks way too eclectic, but people who see it tend to like it a lot. We like it a lot. Musicians tend to like things with more variety. The general public, they like to keep, that's what they say, but I'm finding that variety can be good even for anybody, And it's art, so you can't say that one is right and the other is wrong. It's like the old, I used to go to art school. I have a degree in commercial art. I used to do a lot of illustration and graphics. I don't know much about art, but I know what I like. And you can't argue with that. But you'd like to, but you don't, but this and that, the technical aspect, and most people don't care, and they don't have to, it's art.
All these years that you've been doing this, you've been really consistent and going and everything. A lot of artists fall off because life happens. There are other times where life happens where you're just like, I just can't do this anymore or anything, or do you just push through it? Like, how do you push through it, for a lot of the artists out there that just can't?
Well, for me, again, growing up in a very musical household, music was so central to everything me and my family did. It's not like I'm doing it on top of something else. And even though, I did get a degree in commercial art, and I used that degree for a couple jobs, but then I decided, you know what, music 100%. Right now, one of my mantras for years has been, even the worst, most lame gig I could possibly play is still better, more interesting than the best day at any job I've ever had. If the money's comparable, why wouldn't I do the music? Life has happened. I've been married twice. I've got 2 kids. I've done all sorts of the normal things. And for me, music has never gotten in the way because it's always been so central. And being able to make a living at it, it's not like I'm working full time at one thing and then going out as a hobby on the weekends and have no time for anybody else. No, this is what I do for a living. Thus, I have the same amount of time for everything else as any other working person. Does that help answer the question, I suppose?
Yeah, it's basically that the music is the breadwinner. Once you get to a point where the music is the breadwinner, it's a lot easier versus having to try and juggle so many things in life. That
right.
Not having to worry about 40 to 60 hour week at work anymore. It's now all.
Yeah, and I appreciate the people who do it part-time and still do it very well. And like I said, I'm very fortunate to have achieved where I am making a living at it. And not only that, I mentioned before, when Cherry Pie has a vacancy, we have these talented people lining up to audition. I am aware every day of a lot of very talented people in this community who would love to have my job. I do not take it for granted. I am so fortunate. Cherry Pie happened to be in the right place at the right time with the right format and the right promotion. And if I had to do it again, I would be back at zero. I can't say there's a magic formula that we figured out. It just happened for us for whatever reason. And I'm so fortunate and so lucky, and I remind myself of that every day. I've told you before, I'm interested to see if you get back into actually playing music again. It seems like a natural fit for you right now, your involvement in the business.
I gotta quit these.
I've never been a smoker myself. I do know a couple of very good singers who do smoke. I've kind of scratched my head at it, but it happens. Most really good singers don't smoke. Let me be clear about that. Most really good singers don't smoke, but there are exceptions.
Like, I know I can sound good for like a few songs, but you want me to go for hours on end? Like, I won't have the wind if I'm smoking a pack a day.
Right.
I can't get up there and do anything Sebastian Bach if I'm... Once I kick these, or at least slow down on these, I'm going to actually think about doing that. That's why I was thinking about coming down to that open jam over at Paulie's, because always looking for talented musicians. And anytime when a starting out musician says, I've never been in a band and I want to get into one, but I don't know who to work with, I tell them, go down to open jam.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, because I've been doing a lot of open jams for a long time. I went on Ben Janzow's podcast a couple years ago to talk just about open jams. I really believe in open jams for so many reasons. It's a great way for people who've never performed in public to get their feet wet, and very low stakes. I mean, a lot of them still get nervous, but they're playing to very few people, and those people tend to be very supportive, and they just get used to what it's like to get out of their living room or their basement and play with a real PA and play with other musicians. But also people who are more advanced, it's a great way to get out of your comfort zone, to play with people you don't normally play with, to play songs you don't normally play, to play with equipment you don't normally use. It's great for people to just broaden themselves that way. It's a great way to network, which is kind of what you were touching on. It's just a great way to meet people, and I've seen so many bands formed because they met at open jams.
Once he heard you talking about, rappers going down there, you guys just loop a beat. They're like, hold on a second. He was like, I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, I'm definitely got to pull up to that because I'm very versatile with music. Like one thing I caught when we first came on, you said your mom started teaching you viola or whatever. I played all the strings in high school. I was in jazz band and orchestra. I was in All City 4 times. By the time I graduated in '92, I was the only acoustic upright bass player in the state in the city, because when I started, it was like 4 of us going down till we used to go to Stuyvesant. It used to be on 51st and North Avenue, and they had the big concert hall in the upstairs of the school. And Byhoff's music store was across the street. And we used to do All City there. Then we did All City at the Mecca a couple times. And I mean, by the time I graduated, I was the only bass player. So I started with violin and drums. Then I went to viola. Then I did cello for a while, and then I got into the bass. And I'll be honest with you, I got into the bass because I liked the one dude, what's his name, from the Stray Cats, Brian, or whatever the dude's name from the Stray Cats. I liked his shit. I thought he was the flyest motherfucker ever.
He's good.
He was the coolest motherfucker ever, dude. He was spinning that fucking bass around and bouncing on the stage. I remember seeing him on American Bandstand and all kind of shit when I was a kid. So it was like, okay, so nobody wants to play the bass. And then one day my orchestra teacher was like, well, the strings are the same. Why don't you, it's no different than the cello, just a little bigger. Why don't you? And I tried it. And then the jazz band teacher, he peeped it. He came, and next thing I know, I was in jazz band 4th hour, orchestra 1st hour, regular band 6th hour. You know what I'm saying? It was just music. It's crazy that we talking music because I just a little while ago today found all my sheet music for my bass from jazz.
Wow.
Night in Tunisia, Sweet Georgia Brown, Fat Cat, Dancing Men, Birdland, How High Was the Moon, Best Coast, all these songs, Sidewinder. You know what I'm saying? I just found all my sheet music from when I was in high school. I prefer the upright. It's something about when you boom, boom, and you can spin that bass around and shit. It's something about that shit I like.
So do you still have one? Do you still play one?
No, I can still play, but I don't have one. There's a music store downtown Waukesha, and I was just down there with the wife eating a few weeks ago, and I was walking past. We had parked by it, and I was like, I should go in there and see how much it is to rent the bass, because I can still play. My guy has one, and I picked it up and played a couple riffs, and he's like, you can still play? I'm like, I didn't think I was going to be able to, but...
It's like riding a bike.
It's like riding a bike. I got back on and those few sour notes, but I mean, for the most part, the rhythm and the feel, I was like, okay, I could, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I might be down at the open jam trying to pick up a bass and see what the hell I can do. I want to spit some bars, but shit, I might end up picking up that bass because I just, I did that shit in a band for a long time, and I like the vibe and jam sessions and shit like that. I enjoy that. So, I mean, I might just come down and support and watch a couple weeks. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When I meet people, I often ask people, hey, do you play any musical instruments? And the most common answer is, well, I used to. And I'm like, well, why'd you stop? Because again, given my background and my family, stopping playing music just doesn't make sense. I'm like, and I'm always encouraging people, do you still have a piano? Do you still have a saxophone? If not, pick one up, get back into it, even if it's just at home. And then, but I just love the music's done so much for me, and I just encourage it so much in other people at all levels.
Right.
I had a really good teacher for jazz too. when I was in school, he was he wasn't as famous, but his uncle was famous. My teacher's name was Kay Berrigan. He had an uncle from the 30s jazz circuit named Benny Berrigan. And Benny Berrigan had a lot of big records out here and was in like a lot of different jazz circuits and jazz bands and stuff like that. But his nephew was my jazz teacher. So, you know, I feel like I got like a lot of authentic, like, because he would have us playing like classic jazz, like the real shit. You know what I'm saying? Versus like the commercial shit that most high schools play. So I kind of, you know, felt that I got like a little extra training or like a little extra because he came from, it was in his lineage to do this shit. And that's, you know, that was who my teacher was for my 4 years in high school. Well, I ain't gonna lie, 4.5, but you know.
4.5? The hell did you do?
And when I opened my diploma, that motherfucker was empty. And they was like, yeah, you're still short of half a credit. So I had to go back, you know, for the first semester for one class for a half a credit.
Touching on that with people in many different instruments and everything, out of all the instruments you played, out of all the projects you've ever been in, I know that Cherry Pie is probably not your most one that you've been passionate about. You're probably like, okay, this works, this is fun and everything, but I really want to do this. What has been the most underrated accomplishment of yours? Where like you felt it was the best, but it wasn't as
well
widely known as
received
others.
by your fans.
That's a good question. I mean, I do have some pretty cool songs on that I wrote and recorded that I listen to once in a while. I go, hey, that's some pretty good stuff if more people heard it. But I mean, recently, Sons of Merlin, we don't play that often, but when we do, it's such a blast. And we recently had our biggest show ever. We played at Conkle Park, that big band shell they have there, on part of their Tuesday night concert series, Brews and Bites. There was a big built-in crowd. The weather was beautiful. We got the same sound and lights that do Cherry Pie, so the production was epic. And it was a great show. And I'm trying to put together somebody shot some professional video of it. That was a really special night for me, because it was like Sons of Merlin, the songs we liked the most, the people I like playing with the most because they're family, in a setting that normally Cherry Pie plays in, a big outdoor festival. And it was so cool to have that setting with this particular group. And that was very gratifying. So I don't know if that's underrated, but that was something recently that comes to mind when you ask the question. I don't know. I mean, it's hard not to be gratified when you're playing with Cherry Pie. We're playing well. We work well together. Everybody's very good, and we're, for the most part, playing big gigs. I'm making a living doing it. It's hard not to be excited about that. I don't want to understand that at all.
Man, shit, he sound like he the man to me. I'm sitting here envious as hell, like, man, I need to switch over from doing this rap bullshit. I need to get in the band.
Yeah. And what other all projects are you in besides the Sons of Merlin? Aren't you in another one as well?
Well, most of it is all related to the people that are in Sons of Merlin. I do a lot of solo shows, and when I do duo shows, it's usually with either my brother or Michelle McCall, who's the lead singer of The Decade. She's been getting quite a name for herself in the area. She and I sometimes play out under the name Friends with Benefits because we're good and we have health insurance. And then when we add a third, it's my brother on bass, and we add a fourth, that's when we get Brevin, then it's Sons of Merlin. So there's just different variations on that. So we have the acoustic duo, acoustic trio, the rockin' foursome, and but they're all with the same people, just different interchangeable parts.
For all the information regarding everything, is there like a Josh Becker page, where you can follow everybody?
Doesn't get simpler than that. JoshBeggar.com is my website. It links to all the stuff I do. I have my master calendar there. Just click on schedule. The calendar there is all color-coded, all the different things I'm doing throughout the week. Cherry Pie is red, of course, and acoustic stuff is green, and the jams are blue, and the Sons of Merlin is yellow. But it's like Easter eggs, this colorful calendar. So yeah, I'm very easy to to find. I'm very easy to contact. It's very easy to find out where I'm playing. I get messages all the time from people. Some of them are friends. Some of them are people I barely know saying, hey, where are you playing this week? And I think to myself, I think they're just trying to make conversation because it's so easy to find out where I'm playing this week.
I don't know. Share more things from joshbecker.com or post more about it. I didn't know about it until we talked, and I've had you on Facebook now for like 8 months.
Yeah, I should mention it on Facebook once in a while.
Right, slap it in the bio.
I always tell people, if you know my name, Josh Becker, just add .com to it, and then any question you have, my phone number's on there, my calendar's on there.
Right.
Links to every project I do is on there.
I just want a t-shirt.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to everything that is Milwaukee Entertainment News, as well as joshbecker.com and anything that he's doing with all of his bands. Definitely go there and find out and everything. I'm about to go there real quick, too, so don't do anything I wouldn't do. And if you do, name it after me.
I want a t-shirt.